ergonomics?
On how the robot works.
How the robot works, okay? For example,
macam robotic arms.
Okay.
So we calculate the time.
Okay, right. So means that how do we replicate the robotic arm with the human arm? Is it? Am I correct?
Yes.
Right. So yes, that's good. Right. So we need to design it based on the human biomechanics, human movement, and also maybe the size. Right. Maybe the size. Okay. Maybe the size. Okay. In Japan, we do have these humanoid robots, right? Humanoid robots that serve at certain high-tech restaurants. Okay? They serve the customers using robots, right? So just imagine that robot is much bigger than you, very big, like a giant, and the size, the size proportion of the size is not proportionate with a human size. So the customers will be a bit awkward to deal with these robots. Okay, maybe they will be a bit scared, maybe, right? So this will somehow affect their emotions, maybe their appetite, maybe, right? And the look of the robot. Okay, if it doesn't look so friendly, it doesn't look like a human, so this will be something not that good also, right? So yes, we need to also to include um, need to consider ergonomics, although we are dealing with robots. And again, these robots are interacting with the human, right? Are interacting with the human, right? So that's why normally if we do have these robots, human robots, they will use a female voice because it is much more softer, right? It's much more pleasant to hear, right? Something like that. Okay. So another definition by Cromer. Cromer is one of the authors of famous author for ergonomics books, right? So our textbook is also by Cromer. So he said that ergonomics, or even also called as human factors in the US, or human engineering, can be defined as the discipline to study human characteristics for appropriate design of the living and work environment. So we are studying the human characteristics, okay, for the appropriate design, okay, of the living and work environment, right? So we are studying what is the character of the human, so that we can provide or produce designs, okay, to make our lives much more better, okay, to make the work environment, the workplace much more better, right? So we've looked into the aims of ergonomics. Okay, we've looked this in previous lecture notes. Okay, whereby we could see that if we have all these tools, all these devices, okay, all these machines and whatnot, all right. So whether it is directly or indirectly used or interacts with the human, okay, we always need to look into its safety, okay, how the people, how the human operators will be using this particular tools, equipment, device, and whatnot, okay, and how it could somehow provide a much better comfort, okay, efficiency, and also increased performance of the humans. Okay, here's an example of picking up a box, right? Picking up a box. Okay, so this is on the left side is the wrong way because you are somehow bending your back. Okay, whereby if you do it frequently, okay, in a prolonged period, so you are at risk to get low back pain, LBP. So LBP is a common MSD. We'll look into MSD in the coming lecture notes, right? So low back pain, right? So this is what we do. We squat, okay? We squat, okay, so that our posture is not that bent, and then we'll pick up the box, okay, using the view on the right. Okay, I think everyone knows about this. Okay, I think since we were now primary school maybe, okay, we were taught, okay, maybe if I'm mistaken in pendidikan jasmani kesihatan, okay, we were taught of how to take care of our back, okay, because we do have the the spinal cord there, okay, and then we have the spine, okay. So this is where it is very important for us to make sure that our back is healthy. Right, so we are being taught of how to lift up boxes, how to lift up loads from the ground or from any level to another level. So we are taught to not to bend, okay. We are taught to squat down, okay, straighten our posture, pick up the box, then stand straight back up, right? But the question here is, do we apply all this, right? Do you apply all this? Just to ask you, okay? Every one of you, I do guarantee that you have picked up a box and put it somewhere on top or somewhere at another place or whatnot, right? Picking up a box from the floor or from any table or whatnot. But do you apply all these techniques? Me, myself, I rarely apply all this. Because why? Because, well, it's about time. It's about, we do neglect all these things, okay? We do neglect all things, okay? Because we think that our body could adapt, okay, all these. Okay, but in a prolonged period, if you are doing it, okay, frequently, okay, maybe in 1 hour you're picking the box maybe 7 or 8 times, okay, and the load is very heavy, and you're doing it in an 8 hour shift, okay, 5 days per week, okay, working days and whatnot. So maybe after a couple of years doing that every day, okay, you will eventually end up with a low back pain, MSD, right? But for us, maybe it is a one-off job. Okay, someone call you, hey, come help me to pick up this box and put it in another place. Okay, so it is a one-off job. So this is where we just pick it up, just simply pick it up and then put it somewhere, right? Okay, can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay, right. So this is the issue. Okay, this is the issue that we will look into about, do we apply all these safety interventions and whatnot. Okay, right. So we are going to look into two distinct aspects of ergonomics. Okay, the first one we are studying on the human, okay, human ourselves. Okay, and the second one we are looking into what do we use, okay, what do we do, right, and also the environment. Okay, so again, when you look back into ergonomics, okay, you will always end up with these three components: the human operator doing the job, okay, the job that they are doing, okay, the work that they are doing, and the third one is the environment or the workplace that they are doing that particular job. Okay, so besides this, okay, there's observation. Okay, we can observe, okay, actual performance of human equipment, right? So that we could somehow suggest, okay, any improvements or any innovations towards this particular maybe product, maybe procedure, maybe SOP, okay, that could further be improved, for the sake of the human operator. Okay, benefits of ergonomics. I think we've looked this last week, right? So these are some of the benefits, right? These are some of the benefits. But when it comes in for your test, so when it comes for your test, right? So we are looking only for the most accurate answers, right? So maybe you have this mindset that the test for ergonomics design, okay, is something that you can think of, okay, and then you can just put it in words and then put it as your answer. Yes, it is correct, but basically we are looking how do you relate that particular answer, okay, with the principles and methods of ergonomics, okay, and whether it really specifies and justifies your answer. Okay, if it is too general, right? If it is too general, so maybe you won't get marks for it, right? So, for example, let's say the example is, the question is how to pick up a box correctly, right? So maybe your answer is pick up the box without bending the body, okay? Or maybe you need to pick up the box safely. Very general, right? So this is where we need your answers to be bit more detail, okay, and you are relating that answer with respect to the ergonomics principles. Okay, right. So this is the goals of ergonomics basically. So we are trying to see whether we could amplify human capabilities, right? We can utilize human abilities, okay, facilitate in human efficiency, and we are trying to avoid overloading or underloading that may cause injuries, okay, to the human ability. So we've looked also this, okay, last week, right? And I do believe until now, okay, today you are able to give, right, to give the goals, to give the benefits of why is it important, okay, why do we need ergonomics, okay, especially in design, okay. So in the background of ergonomics, the people behind this particular area, okay, we do have many people, okay, many people from many backgrounds, right? So that's why if you do join HFEM, anyone has opened HFEM website? Anyone? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Have you happened to open the HFEM website? No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, right. Maybe you would like after the class. Maybe you would like just to give a short, very brief browse, browse to the HFEM website. So in there, you could see there's many people and members of the HFEM that comes from different backgrounds. Okay, not only from ergonomics, not only from health sciences, okay, but we do have pilots, we do have consultants, we do have insurance agents there, okay, that wants to contribute, okay, to Malaysia, okay, with respect to ergonomics issues, right? So maybe you can just browse HFM website, okay, so that you do know that we do have an association, and so we do have an organization here in Malaysia that caters for ergonomics issues, okay, that is being registered under ROS Malaysia, okay, and also IEA, okay, International Ergonomics Association. Right. So going back to the notes, right? So we can see there's lots of people in it, okay, with many specialties, many expertise, right? And this is where when you look at all this, what do we see in it? We see the human operator. We see the designer, we see the engineer, okay, we see the nurse, okay, we see the students, okay, because why? Because these are the human operators, and these people, okay, are basically doing something. They must be doing something, right? They must be doing something. Sorry. And for these people doing that particular job, doing that particular work, anything, okay, they must do it somewhere. And this somewhere is where we do have the environment. Okay, just a short discussion here. Anything to comment on this picture? Anything to comment with respect to ergonomics? So what it is week 3. So I do hope you do have the what do you call that? The not the knowledge, it's the semangat. Okay, the spirit of why we need, okay, to learn this ergonomics basically, right? And then I do assume that until now you have some idea basically, hey, why ergonomics is everywhere. Okay, right. So anyone for this particular picture, can you see this picture? This man holding a box with this
Yes.
right? So any comments on this? Your first test will be something like this. We'll be giving you pictures and whatnot, and we're going to seek your opinion, right, based on the shown figure. Right? Any comments on this? Anyone would like to try? What's wrong or what's right with this man?
Maybe he can use a stair
Maybe he can use a stairs. What's wrong with it?
because he is not parallel with the box that he put.
It's not parallel with the box,
The box
right?
is much higher.
Okay, the box is much higher, right? So that is quite a straightforward answer, right? For your test, right? So what we would like you to answer in your test is basically you need to relate it to the ergonomics terminologies and whatnot. Okay, for example, this man, although he's wearing a safety hat, yeah, right? He's wearing a safety hat, but he's holding a box, okay, whereby his hands are much more higher than his shoulder, much more higher than his elbow. So this is where we say that he's not in a good standing posture, and when he's lifting a load there, okay, it is not good also because that load, okay, it must be, I'm not sure how many kilos is it, but there must be some load in it, right? And eventually upon having this standing posture or lifting posture like this, okay, he will somehow experience, okay, maybe some pains, or some tense or stretching of the muscles, right? Of the maybe of the or having some pain at the back, okay, or on the neck, okay, on the shoulder maybe, right? So yes, we do suggest that this particular guy, this particular man, uses a stair. So yesterday's class, one of the female students suggested, why not we use a forklift? At the back of the picture over here, I'm not sure. Is this a forklift? Maybe, I'm not sure, right? This one, okay. Okay, right. This one, maybe it is a forklift. Okay, yes, you could use a forklift. Okay, you could use a forklift, right? We do have this topic of MMH, manual material handling. And one of the method is, yes, it is using a forklift. But looking at this scenario, right, is it suitable to use a forklift? Anyone?
No.
Not
Why?
Oh, only one
Why
box.
is that?
only one box.
Yes, because it's only one box. It is only one box. So this is a type of question, okay, or type of answers that we are going to get from you from the test, right? So yes, it is true, it is correct. You can use a forklift, but it is not that suitable. So if you give that type of answer, so most probably you will get 0 for that particular question, right? So you must relate it back to the ergonomics principles and also methods. So besides using maybe a short stair, right? So maybe, okay, maybe you could, what can you do? What can you do? Any idea besides using this stair?
Put something under his to step, such as a block or.
Okay, maybe you would like to use a block, right? This means that he's trying to heighten his height, right? Okay. What if I say rearrange the racking arrangements? Maybe that box should be put at a much lower racking, maybe, right? So this particular guy, this particular person do not need to reach upwards, right? So these are some of the suggestions, interventions that you could suggest. You could suggest when we are trying to suggest some ergonomics intervention. Okay, now, so the problem is about this picture. Since I was teaching this subject for the past 3 or 4 years, 3 years back, right? This man is in the same static position like this. He's not moving, right? He's not moving, right? So again, by not moving his body like this, okay, because it is a picture, because it is a still picture, right? So he's not moving basically, right? So to maintain this particular posture, right, it is not that appropriate, because why? He will eventually injure his arms, okay, his shoulders, okay, his back muscles most probably, and we can say that he's going to be fatigued, okay, he's going to be fatigued much more faster, right? So how do we lift the box, lift a load? Okay, what is the the optimum height that we could lift, what is the optimum distance, what is the optimum weight. So all this will look into okay, the topics of MMH, okay, in the coming slides, okay, whereby we look into manual material handling. Okay, right. So when we look about the development of ergonomics, the evolution of ergonomics, right? So basically, well, ergonomics is the terminology, but the application, okay, is being, is being applied basically since mankind first, okay, not first step on the moon, first put a step on earth, right? Nabi Adam alaihi salam, right? Because at that time he needed clothes, right? He needs something to wear, okay, he needs something to eat and whatnot, right? So this is where he will refer back to his body size. He will refer back to his body characteristic. Right? So that's why there's this one Malay. Is it a proverb or is it a saying that ukur baju pada badan sendiri? You don't take measure of your outfit from your friend's body. So this is where there's this one term in the Malay, we call it ukur baju pada badan sendiri, because why, we want to see whether our anything that is dictated to us fits our preference or not, okay, in terms of maybe clothing, in terms of maybe expenses, in terms of maybe things that we need to buy, that we want to buy, okay, and many more, right? So basically, this ergonomics field, okay, is directed, okay, rooted from Europe, okay, from okay, US, UK, right? Because at that time, basically it originates, or it rooted from the First World War, whereby at that time everyone is putting every effort onto their soldiers, onto their weapons, okay, to win the war, all right? So this is where we look after this, okay, where how ergonomics come into the field, okay, or area of this human, what do you call that, human attributes. Okay, now, so looking into the terminology of ergonomics and human factors, so these are basically the same terminologies. They carry the same meaning, okay, except that the names are different. Okay, right? So if you look at, you get people that always do all these research or findings, for most of the areas, right? They are always looking into the physical body, the build up of the human body. Okay, so whether it is sportsmen, okay, military officers, artists, and whatnot, okay, they are always looking into the human body. Because why? Because from the human body that they studied, okay, will somehow produce another new area, okay, another new area of knowledge. Okay, can you hear me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you look into okay, these famous artists, okay, or famous scientists, okay, like Leonardo da Vinci, okay, the man, the person that draw the Mona Lisa, right? So he was claimed to have lots of drawings, lots of writings on the human body. Okay, we do have this, the Vitruvian, this one, the Vitruvian Man, okay, by Leonardo da Vinci. This is very, very famous of him, one of his work, right? So he's looking into the human segments of the body, okay, and this is where he studied a lot about anatomy, okay, about the human body, okay, about the physiology of the body. Because why? At that time, okay, they wanted to know how we could improve the human population, okay, the human performance, okay, in terms of many things, okay, in terms of doing something, in terms of maybe sports or whatnot, right? So this is where they started to study on the human body, right? So this is where we do have the Vitruvian man, Vitruvian man. You can just Google what is Vitruvian man. So this is where Leonardo da Vinci came up with all these drawings and whatnot, right? However, if you do know Ibn Sina, anyone knowing who is Ibn Sina?
Yes, sir.
Who is his? Who is Ibn Sina?
Ilmuwan.
Yes, ilmuwan dalam bidang.
Perubatan.
Yes, dalam bidang perubatan. Okay, dalam bidang perubatan. So we do have an Islamic scholar, Ibn Sina, okay, whereby right, his work, his writing, his drawing, okay, is more into the medicine field, right? He has his anatomy drawings and whatnot. So this is where we do have the clash of knowledge, whether Leonardo da Vinci was the first man producing all this anatomy, or he got all those things from the work of Ibn Sina. All right. So again, why do people study about people? Because we need to know about our people. Right? We need to know about our people. Okay. If you look into your, what do you call it, susogalo keturunan, maybe you'll be surprised that you were from one ethnic or one race, okay, from another continent. Maybe. I'm just giving a general opinion, yeah. Right? So same as this, okay. So why we need to learn about people, okay, we call it anthropology, okay, about the human race, okay, the human behavior, because we always want to provide our people, we want to provide the people in that population is something so that they become much more better in terms of performance, in terms of maybe health, in terms of many things, okay, in terms of doing something and whatnot. Right, so this is where both Ibn Sina and Leonardo da Vinci studies about the human body, so that they can come up with something, something that can help the human to be much better. Right. So if you look into the directions of ergonomics in the Europe, okay, so basically, it started with the work of physiology, okay, that was somehow being not introduced, being applied, okay, within the First World War, okay, World War I. Okay, so this is where they look into the human factors, But at that time, human factors and ergonomics is not yet introduced the terminology. Right, so we do have this psychotechnology, okay, which involve the testing of certain person, okay, to look into their ability, into their performance, okay, for certain things. Okay, so this is what happened in Europe, and then in the North Africa, okay, also during the First World War, okay, this is where they have this intelligence testing, okay, or screening of recruits, okay. For certain recruits, they must have this certain intelligence, right? If not, so maybe at the war field, maybe they cannot make decisions and make correct decisions or make very fast decision upon certain scenario or certain condition, okay, because they are not somehow they don't have this intelligence, right? And then there's another what we call it, another not factor, not another. It's about like another study, okay, whereby, so another application, okay, whereby in North America, they do have this industrial psychology, okay, that is related to the Hawthorne effect. Okay, so you can Google what is the Hawthorne effect, right? So basically, it is looking into the mental of the human, okay, the emotions, okay, at that time, right? So when it comes to the 50s, right? So this is where, you know, the US and the British, they have this conflict, not conflict of interest, maybe conflict of mind, maybe, whereby they normally don't agree upon one thing together. Okay, so this is normal until now. So when the UK introduces something, the US will introduce something. It is basically the same, but it has different names or different functions or whatnot, right? So if the US introduces something, so at the end of the day, the UK people will also introduce something. Okay, they just want to win this race, basically, to show that they are much better than other people, right? So that just put that side. But in the 50s, right? So this is where maybe all these people in the ergonomics area, all these economists, okay, maybe they have sit down together one day and maybe they discuss, hey, we need one terminology, we need one name that could reflect what we are doing now. Okay, what we are doing now towards the human, okay, towards the benefits for the human. Okay, so this is where the term of ergonomics was first proposed in the 50s, right? And basically, it is being taken, okay, from the Greek word that is the ergon and also nomos. All right. Any questions so far? So this is where how did the term the terminology came into the pool of knowledge. All right. In the US, okay, basically in the 50s also, okay, in the late 50s, okay, they rejected ergonomics, okay, and they used human factors, you know, because of this conflict, right? Sebenarnya sama saja, ergonomics and human factors is the same thing. But you know, US, they want to be a bit different. Okay, if China do something, so they will do it again. So they want to be a bit different. You know, US, they always want to win everything. So this is where they came up with human factors. Okay, and maybe human engineering. All right. So this is where in 1992, okay, one of the society. Okay, so in the US, they wanted to rename their society from human factors society to human factors and ergonomics society. Right? How about in Malaysia? So in Malaysia, we do have our own ergonomic society, okay, that is called the HFEM, Human Factors and Ergonomics Society Malaysia, right? And basically this society, okay, is within the CNS organization, okay, Southeast Asian Network of Ergonomic Society. So basically, every country in the world basically has their own ergonomics organization or ergonomic society. Okay, and all these society are being controlled or being governed under the IEA, International Ergonomics Association, right? So here in Malaysia, we do have this, okay, right? And then why do we need this network? Why do we need this organization? Okay, because we would like to share our findings with other countries so that they can also share what they have found with us, with respect to the human operator, with respect to the population, with respect to the people. Okay, so this is where when we share all these inputs, okay, we somehow could make the lives of other people's much more better. Right? So just a bit brief of the HFEM. So it is being established on March 8, 2011. Okay. However, it is being registered, okay, in 2010, and it is being founded and first being attempt to make this society in 2007. Who was the pioneer? So the pioneer is Professor Dr. Halimatun and her husband, okay, Professor Martin Helander, right? Martin Helander. So Professor Martin is one of the former president of IEA. One former. So dia buat salih lah. So Professor Martin is a Malaysian lah, Melayu kita, right? So so this is where they started to initiate this HFEM society in Malaysia, so that we do have a society that caters for economics issues or economics matters here in Malaysia, right? So what do we do? So we do lots of things. Okay, it is interdisciplinary, right? And basically, the members here in the HFEM is a voluntary basis. Okay, membership, right? Means that you are not being paid. You need to pay the membership, yes, but you're not being paid to be a member. Okay, but we seek for your expertise, right? We seek for your effort to spread the awareness, safety, and also comfort to the Malaysian people, right? Can you hear me? Can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is what we do in HFEM, right? So we do have lots of, lots of activities here. Okay, so you can somehow, browse the what do you call it, the website. Sorry. Okay, so Ergonomics now, okay, today and moving forward, it is growing, okay, and it is changing the world basically. Okay, for example, now if you look at certain application or certain products, let's say mattress or maybe chairs or office chair, whatnot, they have this keyword or tagline, okay, that most of the companies use is what? Okay, this product is ergonomically designed. Means that the design secara ergonomic. Okay, secara ergonomic. Because why? When people now hear about ergonomic, they will always they will put in mind that this fits our body. It's good for the human. Okay, it could give you good health. Okay, by using this product and whatnot. All these things. All right. So because of the awareness has been increased, okay, maybe now, for example, you guys, right? You all maybe triggered something that you have done previously before you know about ergonomics, before you learn about ergonomics. Okay, maybe the past years you haven't even heard what is ergonomics. Okay? But today, when you have learned about ergonomics, okay, about how does ergonomics is related to the daily schedule or daily works of a person, right? Maybe you will say, oh, the thing that I did during my maybe primary school, maybe my secondary school, okay, maybe my higher what do you call that, tertiary education period, okay. So maybe that was something that I did that has something related to economics, but at that time I did not know what is economics, right? I do believe you do have that. Okay, anyone would like to share? Anyone would like to share any experience? It's something that you did maybe a long time ago, but that time you haven't learned about economics yet. You haven't heard about what is economics, okay? But you did something that managed to, to ease your work, or maybe to give you better, much more comfort, or maybe to avoid any accidents or whatnot. Okay, and somehow if you are recalling that thing back now, and then you will say, oh, that was an ergonomic intervention. There was an ergonomic effort to increase something. Anyone would like to share? Anyone would like to share any experience of yours? Okay, dah pukul 3 ni, ngantuk-ngantuk ni, right? Maybe we could chat a bit. Anyone would like to share any experience? Anyone, please? Yes, who's this?
Farid, sir.
Yes, Farid. What would you like to share?
When I'm playing games.
Okay, when was that?
What?
When was that? When you were playing games?
I think every day, sir.
Every day, right? Okay, every day. So what do you do?
I will sit at the chair.
Okay,
It's a normal chair,
okay.
but my back always feel not. It's like tak
Not
selesa, sir.
comfortable. Okay, lengoh lah, lengoh, tak selesa, right? Okay, right, okay.
So I put a pillow.
You put a pillow, right? So was that because of you know, oh, putting a pillow is much more ergonomic? Was that because of that?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about ergonomics before previously?
No.
No. Okay. So that action was that action is because you know it is ergonomics.
Because I think the pillow is soft, so it can help my back.
Okay, right. So, but not because of ergonomics, right? Maybe you haven't heard about ergonomics terminology yet at that time, right?
Yes, I just know ergonomic this same.
Yes. So maybe that is a logical thinking, a direct effect, okay, of trying to make yourself much more comfortable. So you're putting a pillow on it, okay, on your back, right? But after you take this course of ergonomics, maybe, right? Maybe you would know where to put it exactly, where you should put the pillow exactly. Should you sit on the pillow? Should you put it at the back of your body, just above your buttocks, okay, or just at your waist, or just at your upper middle back, right? So where you should put it, right? So maybe after knowing all these, you know, your lumbar, right, your back, okay, the bones and whatnot. So maybe after this, you could put it somewhere that it makes you much more comfortable compared to just putting a pillow at your back. All right. This is where basically, okay, people have already applied ergonomics. Okay, they have already applied, but they do not know that it's ergonomic. They do not know that, oh, it's related to ergonomics, is it, right? So they do not know about it, okay, but they're trying to do something so that it makes you yourself much more comfortable, right? Okay, that's good, right? Okay, any others would like to share your experience? I'll be sharing my experience after this. Okay, any others would like to share your experience? Any others? Are you with me? Anyone? Maybe the ladies would like to share. Are you hearing me, or am I lagging? I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
So how about the ladies? Are the ladies here? Ke dah pergi bazar Ramadan dah? Ke dah start masak dah nak buka puasa dia? Anyone? Fatin Nabila, are you here?
Yes.
Sorry, Fatin, ingat nama awak je. Right. So any experience have you encountered previously? Maybe during your childhood, maybe at that time for sure you haven't heard about what is ergonomics. Tak tahu benda ergonomics ni. But have you happened to experience something that you did to make your work much more easier or better or not? Anything?
I guess when I was at the primary school,
Right.
so we have the computer lab.
Okay.
So there's a chair that we can move upside down. So I
Move
guess
upside down.
upside down. I mean, like we can the lever. We can control the lever, the chair at the computer lab. Hello.
Okay, right. Yes, we're hearing you.
So I guess that it doesn't mean anything. Just that for fun. But then it's actually to control our body posture so that it can same level with the table that we use, something like that.
So at that time, maybe you were thinking this is something, wow, it's fun, so that you can go up and down, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what's the purpose of it at that time, right? So yes, it is for you to somehow set what is the height of the seat pan, okay, so that you are comfortably sit on the seat, right? Okay. Right. Any others? Thank you, Batin. Any others? Any others would like to share? Maybe something this about seat, right? Maybe something a bit more complex, maybe. Right? Mungkin zaman-zaman bulan puasa ke, anything that somehow you did something, okay, so that it makes you, anything. Mungkin something related to bulan puasa ke, raya ke, main mercun ke, right? Alright. Anyone would like to add? Okay. I'll just share my experience. This is what I shared yesterday also, right? So normally, when you get a bottle of, chili sauce, okay, chili or tomato sauce, okay, from the supermarket or whatnot. Then you go back home and then you want to open the cap, okay, or a cap of a jam in a glass jar. Okay, you want to open it, and you happen to have some problem opening it because it is too tight. Because it is airtight, right? So you have some problem to open that cap, basically, okay, especially for chili sauce or tomato sauce bottles, okay, or jams, okay, basically glass bottle with an aluminum cap, right? So what do you normally do? What do you normally do to open it? Anyone? Any idea?
What again, sir?
What do you normally do when you want to open a cap, bottle cap, a chili sauce bottle cap, right? And it is tight, it is too tight. You can't open it. Okay? Besides, you let another person that is much more stronger to open it. Okay. So what normally you do to open that particular bottle cap? Anyone experiencing this? This is a normal thing at the kitchen. What do you do?
Put a cloth on the cap.
Boil water.
Put a cloth on the cap, right? Okay. Others, I heard about boiling water, something like that.
Put
Is
the
it?
bottle inside the boiling water.
Put the bottle inside the boiling water, right? Maybe others. Anyone?
Put the rubber.
Say again.
Put the rubber band.
Put the rubber band, right? Good. That's good. Others? Yesterday, there's one student said they burn the cap. They put it on the stove, okay, and to make the cap expand a bit, okay, so that it is much easier for them to open it. Okay, then there's another student said that normally she will take a knife, okay, just to make a small opening, just to release the airtight, okay, inside the bottle, okay, just to make macam dia ompel sikit lah, dia ompel the cap, okay, just to make this cap a bit loose before they start to open it, right? So if this is the type of question being asked in the what do you call that, in the test, right? So most of the question, most of the answers are correct, okay, including putting it in the boiling water, putting the cap on the stove, okay, burn it just to make it a bit more expanded, okay, or warm it, okay, just using a knife to just make a small opening on it, right? But again, if you relate it to ergonomics, is it safe? This is the question, right? So we are looking into accurate answers, right? Although it is correct, right? Tapi we are not trying to go for, we call this matlamat menghalalkan cara, right? Okay, something like that. So what happens is, right? What I did is put a rubber band. Okay, ini memang klasik lah. Okay, besides put a rubber band, we can use a tablecloth, right? Tablecloth, because why? It is somehow slippery. Okay, so putting a tablecloth, okay, using a tablecloth, put it on the cap and then trying to open it. So you're trying to create some friction on it, right? But what I normally do, this is my experience. What I normally do, I put a rubber band, okay, okay, tie it a few times onto the cap, and then I will grip the rubber band on the cap and then we'll twist the cap, okay, counterclockwise, and most of the time it worked. Okay, so most of the time it worked. Okay, because what you are trying to put more grip, right? So you are creating a grip. Grip for whom? Grip for your hands, right? So size of the hand, grip. Okay, the strength of the grip. So this is elements of ergonomics. All right, and the second one, using a rubber band is much more safer compared to put it on the stove, okay, heating up the cap, or put the bottle into a boiling water, right? So these are the things. Okay, if you put the, let's say, if you put the cap on the what do you call it, on the stove, right? So it will heat up, correct? Maybe the bottle will heat up also. Okay, the glass bottle will heat up also. So you will not be able to open it directly after heating the cap. Am I correct? Right. So you are at the kitchen. What do? This is reflex action. So normally to cool it down, you put it under the water. What happens? This is basic science. What happens? You put it under the water?
Slippery.
It's not slippery. A hot cap, a hot bottle, glass bottle, you put it under water, what happens? It will definitely crack. Okay, dia akan pecah lah, dia akan retak. Retak. Dah tak boleh makan the whole bottle of sauce, chili sauce or ketchup. Right? So these are the things. Okay, these are the things, these are the types of answers that we are looking for when you are answering the questions for your test, right? Yes, this subject, the question is something that you can somehow think of. Okay, there's no right and wrong, but we are looking for the most accurate answers based on the ergonomics principle, right? So this is where, from my experience, okay, there's lots of other experience also, right? There's lots of other experience. For example, a very, this is something that I think everyone does it. Okay, when I was in my primary schools, right? Also when my mom buy us, okay, our school uniform, all right? So normally our moms, I'm not sure lah your mom, but at my time, our moms at that time, they will always buy one size bigger of uniform, school uniform, one size bigger. Why is that? Why is that normally? Yes, because we can use it in the next year. Jimat lah kan, zaman-zaman dulu tu taklah semewah sekarang ni kan. Zaman dulu tu, okay, kalau pakai keluar our pants, okay, maybe we don't have any brands at that time, okay. So sekolah pun siapa yang pakai palas tu kira dah kayangan lah tu, right? Bangsawan lah tu, right? Pakai Sparks, jenis Spark. I'm not sure Spark is already is still in the market or not. Spark, itu kira kasut-kasut bangsawan lah, right? But now you can get Diadora. I saw my going to buy my kids school shoes, and then we have Diadora. So Diadora is one of the sports attire for most of the football boots lah. But they have school shoes. Okay. Besides that, we have Converse. Dulu dah kira, kalau zaman dulu tu kira bangsawan lah tu, right? So our moms normally they will buy a size much more one size bigger. Because why? Because we can use it next year. So jimat lah. But the problem is, what's the problem? It is somehow much more bigger at the waist and also much more longer at the bottom, right? So what do? We will fold it maybe 2 or 3 times and then we will sew it. Okay, kita akan jahit lah. So next year we will open satu lipatan lah. The coming years we will open the other lipatan. So boleh pakai 2-3 tahun, right? So this is an act of ergonomics also. We are trying to fit the job to the man. Okay, we are trying to fit the clothes to the man. All right, so this is where indirectly we have already applied ergonomics, but at that time we do not know. Okay, we do not know about ergonomics. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions?
No, sir.
No, okay, right? So I think you can relate, and there's lots of things you can relate, since your childhood, okay, until now, okay. Because at that time, do you know MacGyver? Have you heard about MacGyver? Who is MacGyver?
Yes,
Tak ada pada. Right, MacGyver. At that time, MacGyver was very, very famous. Right? My time now was to sekolah, right? So we always watch MacGyver every night during the siaran, because we want to see what is his next innovation. What is his next innovation? Okay, right? So at that time, everyone wants to innovate everything. Okay, benda yang dah okay pun dia nak innovate juga. Okay, because why? Because they want to make it much more better. Okay, so that it can help the human, the one using it, much more comfortable. Right? Who's this? Anyone would like to talk? Anyone would like to say? Right. So this is where indirectly at that time we already have applied ergonomics. Okay, except that we haven't learned, okay, or know, okay, the terminology of ergonomics at that time. Okay. Right, so by now, I think now you have already known about this. So it is your turn, and it's your turn, okay, to make sure that when you do something, it is related to ergonomics. This is where you need to follow all the necessary requirements, maybe the anthropometric, okay, maybe the body size, right? Maybe the population percentiles, okay, all these things, okay, so that it becomes much more feasible and also much more viable. Okay, right. So can we take a 5 minutes break? It's 20 minutes past 3. So we will continue back at 3:25. Is that possible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Right. So I'll see you back at 3:25, and we'll continue the rest of the slides after this. Right. So we'll have a break for a while, and I'll be stopped recording this session. So see you back at 3:25. Right. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
of coffee pun tak boleh kan puasa ni, right? So is anyone back here with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll be finishing our first chapter lah today. Okay, right? Okay, where were I now? Okay, so we're sharing the slides. So I've recorded the session again, okay, for the second half of the lecture today. Where is it? Okay, right. I think you can see the screen. Okay, so basically we are looking into the okay, how does ergonomics evolve from the root origins of the field, okay, until we have certain applications specific for ergonomics, right? So we look at the origins, the development, and also the applications here, right? So basically, when we refer back to Ibn Sina, when we refer back to Leonardo da Vinci, okay, everything started with the study of the human body, with the anatomy of the human body, right? From there, people, okay, scientists, researchers started to learn about muscles, started to learn about the bones, okay, started to learn about the the organs and whatnot, right? So this is where it is much more related to the study of this anatomy, medicine, okay, health sciences, right? So that's why when ergonomics and human factors and ergonomics is being introduced, okay, into our faculty, okay, towards the engineering students, right? So the acceptance was a bit not negative, but a bit low lah. Okay, they were asking why engineering student needs to learn about this, right? And then we happen to offer this course, ergonomic design, to faculty science gunaan students, FSG, okay, applied science students, right? Well, they are also somehow related, okay, science, right, related to human. But last semester or last previous semester, we offered this course also to students at FSPU, Faculty Science, FSPU. What is FSPU? FSPU, Science Faculty Seni Bina, dan UKO, right? So they are designing buildings. So they need to learn ergonomics, right? They need to learn all these, areas that originates mostly from the medical part, right? So it's not because we are going to learn about about the organs and whatnot. We are trying to look into the human behaviors and social characteristics, so that these FSPU students could design a building that is friendly to the human, in terms of the lightings, in terms of the air conditioning, in terms of the air circulation, in terms of the height of the ceiling, in terms of height of the door, and many things, the escape or the exit, emergency exit route, the stairs, the design of the stairs, and all these things, because why? Because in the building there will always be humans in it, and when there's human, they must be doing something, and where they are doing it in the building. So this is where they need to learn, somehow it is indirectly related to ergonomics, to the FSPU students. Right, can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. After having this origin, so this is where there's lots of development, of areas of research, areas of knowledge, that originated from all these areas. So when we do have all these anatomy, orthopedics, medicine and whatnot, so this is where there's a field of studies, that studies on the human anthropometry, the body size, biomechanics, the movements of the body, right? When you learn on design last semester and previously, and also during MEM634, we do have this adaptation concept. Okay? We adapt our design based from the flora or also from the fauna. Okay, based from maybe certain animals, maybe from certain wildlife. Okay, tumbuhan, whatnot, right? The flora. Okay, because why? Because from adapting what they are doing, we are designing something for the usage of the people. Okay, like the aeroplane. The Wright brothers. That a bird is something that flies, and they fly using their wings. So we need to design something that has wings, right? That has wings. Okay, so they made a lot of attempts, okay, to build up this first flying aircraft, right? And upon the technological advancement, okay, upon having lots of research on it, so this is where from that wing, okay, people started to look into aerodynamics. You know aerodynamics, okay? And we learned about fluid, is it? Okay, you are going to learn about aerodynamics. Okay, so basically not only the wings, okay, but the design of the wings must be aerodynamics. Okay, because why? Because it has to do something with the high pressure and also low pressure of the air that is being produced from the wings that cause lift to the aircraft. So this is where things are being related. But the first thing it originated from, the idea came from the birds. Okay, from the birds, whereby birds fly using wings, right? So this is where comes or lots of field, okay, emerges, okay, to cater for all these origins knowledge, right? Right? Anything? Anyone? Someone is switching on his microphone. Anything to share? Okay, or maybe you accidentally switch on your mic, right? So this is where we do have biomechanics, work physiology, okay, industrial hygiene, okay, safety and health, okay, many more, right? And then when we do have all these, okay, all these areas, right? This is where, okay, engineers, researchers, scientists, okay, anyone, okay, I can say the human people, okay, started to come up with many applications to suit all these area, field of knowledge, right? So this is where we do have lots of applications, okay, that involves industrial engineering, bioengineering, okay, safety engineering, military, CAD and whatnot, okay, because why? Because everything rooted or originated from all these origins area of knowledge, right? So if you look back, okay, on all these, what do you see? You will see a human in it. And you will always see a human in it, okay? And he or she is doing something, and he or she is doing that particular thing, basically in a workplace. Okay, right. So this is the basically the description of this diagram just now, right? So this is where we do have this basic or classic area, okay, area of knowledge, okay, sciences, okay, that somehow relates to the human body, okay, the anatomy, physiology, medicine, okay, psychology, all these things, right? And from these, okay, fundamental knowledge, okay, emerges, okay, all these disciplines or area of fields, area of knowledge, okay, the developments of these disciplines, okay, that is related to ergonomics, okay, in terms of anthropometry, okay, biomechanics, right, work physiology, and many more, right? Because here you do see the people, okay, the body itself. Here you do see the man in it, and this is where you do see the application, the man doing the job in it, right? So when you have all these elements together, so this is where you do see you need to consider ergonomics in that particular condition, okay, or situation, okay, or anything, right? So that when that human operator is doing that particular work in that particular workplace or environment, okay, he or she will be safe, it will be comfortable, will be able to perform efficiently, okay, and maybe increase their performance. All right. So that is all for the first lecture, okay, for the first lecture for chapter 1, basically. All right. So I'd like to give just after this just a normal short brief of what we are going to look in next week. Okay, in next week we'll be going into chapter 2. All right. So in chapter 2, basically, all right, okay, we are looking into the anatomical body of the human. Okay, we'll look into a bit of the human body structure and also the biomechanics. Right. So in chapter 1, basically, we've covered what is basically ergonomics. Okay, I do believe now till today, you have the idea what is basically ergonomics. Okay, when should we or when we need to consider ergonomics? Okay, and what is the importance of ergonomics, basically, right? Okay, and then okay, can someone name me? Can someone name me one product that is not ergonomically designed? Anything? Anyone would like to share? Are you with me?
Yes.
Right. So anyone would like to share? Okay. We'll just throw out any. Just give a general guess. Okay. Name me one product that you think it is not ergonomically designed. Anything?
Marble, sir.
Say again.
Marble.
Marble.
Guli.
Guli. All right. So what's wrong with the guli? This is interesting. Say again.
Dia macam tu, jadi keras.
Dia keras macam tu je. Right. But can I say that the marble is being designed just to have a nice size so that it fits your grip, fits your hands? Right? Okay.
No, marble, many size.
Do you have many size? Biasa main guli kan?
Yes.
Guli, tak, baling right? So normally we have the same size, right? Kalau zaman-zaman dulu saya main guli, macam mana?
Ada yang besar sikit.
Ada yang besar sikit, is it? But normally when we play guli ni, biasa size sama kan? Yang besar tu, bukan besar, satu lagi the color is white. Guli susu orang panggil. Itu kira king. Kan? Right? Okay, marble. Okay. Others? Anyone would like to give an maybe during your childhood? Okay. Nowadays, most of the products are ergonomically designed. Okay, most of the products. But maybe you found out something that is not ergonomically designed. Okay. Will you know a sharpener? Sharpener biasa, sharpener. Peraut.
Yes.
So it is being designed to be small, to fit in any type of normal 2B pencils or whatnot, right? Okay. So it is small, so you can grip it properly, right? Right? So it is somehow being designed to fit a normal, kids, hands, to grip the sharpener and to sharp the pencils, right? So maybe it is according to the grip of the hands, but to make it much more ergonomic, okay, maybe you can see nowadays we have a curved type of sharpener with all these what do you call that, lines, features, to give a much better grip, okay, to the users, right? And now much more advanced, much advanced sharpener. We do have this what do you call that? the sharpener that we can put it inside. We can rotate the lever, right? What do you call that type of sharpness? Tahu kan sharpener yang tu kan, right? So there's one compartment below that, so you can take it out and you can discard, okay, the sharp pencil, right? And then a much more advanced one, okay, we do have this automated sharpener. Okay, so you put in a battery in it, so it is easy to grip. It is a bit bigger, right? But it is much more easier. You just put your pencil in it, push it down, and then it starts to sharpen your pencils automatically, right? So these are the evolutions, okay, from a simple sharpener to a high-end sharpener. So it basically helps. It basically helps the users, okay, to perform the work sharpening the pencils much more easier, much more faster. All right. But how about in terms of safety? How about in terms of comfort? Did it actually increase? Do you think did it actually increase the safety for the users or the comfort for the users using this type of normal sharpness compared to the automated sharpeners? Any idea? Any idea? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Right. Any idea? So we do have a lot of people in here. Let's look at Nur Sabrina. Where's Nur Sabrina? Are you here, Nur Sabrina? Kita pergi Bazar Ramadan.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Right. So in terms of using that type of sharpener, right, from the simple sharpener to the one that I said just now, the high-end one, does it somehow increase the safety of the user? Somehow increase the comfort of the user?
In terms of the safety, I'm not pretty sure, but as in for the time saving, I guess it will be much more efficient.
Okay, much more efficient. Okay, have you ever sharpened pencils?
Yeah, I do.
One pencil maybe? How about a bunch of pencils? Okay, like my case, I have 4 kids. Three kids are at school. So every, let's say once a month, okay, so I need to sharpen pencils, or they need to sharpen their own pencils. They have a bunch of pencil colors normally, right? So what happens using a normal sharpener? What happens to their fingers? They will get blister, melecet, right? They'll get blister, melecet, right? So what they do, they use this type. I bought this type of sharpener, pusing, right? Pusing, right? But again, lenguh dia kata, right? Penat. So I bought another type of sharpener that is much more easier, the one that is automated. So they just put in the pencils into the pencil slot. So this is where you can see, right? This is where you can see how redesigning or innovating this particular type of sharpener, okay, somehow increases, okay, the safety, the comfort, time saving, efficiency, performance, right? To whom? To the user, right? So this is where indirectly, ergonomics are also being considered in the design. Okay, so your test 1, test 2, okay, the questions will be something like this, and then we are looking into justifications that are accurate, okay, that are somehow being related to the principles of ergonomics. Okay, before we wrap up for this session, right, I would like to share just a brief introduction of chapter 2, okay, what you will be expecting next week in chapter 2, right? So we'll be looking into, okay, we are going to look into the anatomical and mechanical structure of the human body, right? So we are looking into the body dimensions, okay, because we people, human beings, are different from one another. You yourself are different from your own left and also right hands, left and also left ears, left and also right eyes, your legs and whatnot, right? So this is where we need to have some body dimension, or we call it the human anthropometry, right? And then after looking into body dimensions, we are going to look into the biomechanics, okay? how does the human body works? How does the human body moves? Okay, what moves your body? Okay, what moves your limbs? What moves your hands, basically, right? So this is where we do have a frame in our body, the skeleton body, okay, whereby these skeletons are being supported and being supported, okay, by muscles, okay, and this is where the muscles, okay, that moves basically your hands, your legs, your limbs, basically, right? Whether it contracts or it is in a relaxed condition, right? So this is where we look into something like this. This is the muscle. Okay, D is the muscles. Okay, we do have the tendon here. Okay, this basically whether it is a tendon or the ligament, right? And we do have the muscles. Okay, we do have the joints. Okay, the joints here. And upon having a load here, right? So this is where how does this muscle contract or relax, okay, to move this particular arm here. Okay, so this is what we are going to expect. Okay, not in detail. Don't worry, we are not going in detail about the human anatomy. Just to know several parts, several body regions. Okay, that is somehow important to know about biomechanics, basically. Right. So this is where you can see the humerus bone here. We have the radius and ulnar bones here. We have the muscles here, right? So this joint here acts as a fulcrum, right? So this is where when you see, you know, call that backhoe, or case, case. Only backhoe, is it? Okay, jentera yang korek tu. Okay, so the concept of that is somehow being adapted from our hands here. Okay, because you do have see the bones here. So these are the linkages of the backhoe, and then we have the muscles to contract or to relax, to move up and down. Okay, our arm here, forearm here, right? But for a backhoe, what do they use? They use a hydraulic cylinder. Okay, hydraulic cylinder. Okay, and in the hydraulic cylinder, normally they have this the stroke of the cylinder, whether it it extends outwards or it extend outwards, and what is the opposite? Dia masuk ke dalam, okay, the stroke of the hydraulic cylinder, right? So via this action, via this movement, this is where you can see the linkages of the backhoe's arm is moving, right? Digging the dirt and whatnot, right? And when you look into biomechanics also, this is where now, okay, sports scientists have now used technology, okay, to study about athletes, okay, sportsmen, okay, somehow to increase their performance, okay, using technological advancement, okay, by looking into the human or the athlete's biomechanics, right, without having to consume any drugs or supplements, right? So this is where, inshallah, next week, I will share with you about biomechanics of Usain Bolt. And I think you do know who is Usain Bolt, okay, the fastest man on the world, okay, that had won many Olympic gold medalist, okay, 100 meters gold medalist, okay, Olympian gold medalist 100 meters, right? So sports scientists started to study what makes Usain Bolt the fastest man on the world, running 100 meter sprint, right? So this is where they studied about, okay, his legs, about his muscle, about his trajectory, okay, all these are related to the biomechanics of Usain Bolt, right? So from this biomechanics, this is where we could design something, okay, to increase the performance of the athletes, okay, by like swimming suits, right? So normally you do see in the early years of Olympics, right, when we have this swimming acara renang bukan renang berirama renang 100 meters or 50 meters like that. So normally the swimmers will only wear swimming trunks, right? Without wearing any bodysuit, lah, right? But now you can see, okay, some of the swimmers, okay, are using swimsuits. Okay, even the male swimmers, okay, because why? The swimsuits are being designed, okay, so that it replicates the skin of fishes, okay, in the sea, right? So that they can somehow reduce the drag, okay, reduce the friction between the water and also the body of the swimmer, okay, so that they can glide or they can swim much more faster, even though it only increases 0.1 second, okay, because in a race like that, 0.1 second is very significant. All right, so this is what we are going to expect next week. Okay, maybe you could download the notes, okay, much more earlier, okay, and then you can just give a short preliminary reading of the notes, okay, so that during the sessions like this, okay, you can somehow, ask questions and whatnot. Okay, any questions so far? All right, any questions so far? Okay, we'll be having another session this week, this Thursday, right, for the second lab session, right? So hopefully you have started your first lab discussion, right, about the first SLM machine, SLM equipment. And then again, I would like to remind you, okay, to you that all the equipments, okay, every equipment must be the report for every equipment must be done by only one student, right? Because that report will reflect his or her marks for the lab, okay, the 10% lab assignment. So assignment is basically the lab report, okay. All right. Anything you'd like to ask?
Nak tanya pasal report SLM.
Say again, Amazam.
Tanya pasal report SLM.
Yes, SLM. Yes, Amazam. What is it?
Ya, untuk data collected tu, kita kena cari sendiri ke ataupun kita ambil daripada case study orang lain?
Okay, the data collected is from the case study, from the papers, because you are not able to take data, right? You nak ambil data macam mana kan? Because you are where are you now?
Terengganu.
So how is it possible for you to come to take the data here using the SLM machine at the faculty end? So that's why you need to look for journals, okay, paper journals from reliable sources, okay, and in those journals there will be data. There will be data on noise, sound, whatnot, right? So that data that you are going to use to report in your lab report. Okay, Sam?
Kan ada dua case study kan, so
Yes.
kan ambil satu lah kan.
No, you need to produce two. You need to take two case studies. So for example, one case study is at one of the factory, Cadbury factory in section 15, for example. Okay, they are taking the noise at the let's say the packaging area in the Cadbury factory, right? And another case study, another paper, they are doing a research at, let's say, Toyota assembly line, right? From these two data, so you need to compare. Anything that you would like to compare, whether the noise level, okay, what they do, for example, okay, which one is much more dangerous, okay, whether is it at Toyota or is it at Cadbury. So anything, I would like to see how you analyze these data and what are the critics or what are the comments that you put into these two. That's why you need to have two, because I want you to compare these two data. Is that clear?
Tak kisah tempat tu luar negara ataupun dalam negara.
Yes, no problem. But I need to know where's the venue. If it is overseas, right? So you need to include where that particular research is being conducted, right? And also you need to include the picture, right? So if it is here in Malaysia, maybe you can find it lah. But if it is overseas and then you try to Google it, it's not there. So you need to somehow use Google Map or Google Street View. Okay, put in the address. Maybe sometimes they put the address of the venue for the research. So you can use that. Okay, just to show, this is where the the research is being conducted. Okay.
Oh, that's it.
right? So for example, you're doing it at restaurants, okay? One at McDonald's, one at KFC, right? So you want to know what is the level of noise at these both fast food restaurants, right? So you need to have two papers, one paper on McDonald's, one paper on KFC, and then those two papers, definitely there will be data on the sounds, right? Noise. You need to present all these sounds. So this is the data for MACD, this is the data for KFC, right? And then in the discussion, this is where you discuss anything that you would like to discuss. Maybe which one is much more louder, which one is much more safer. Okay, due to this loud noise, what did this particular company did for the workers? What did this particular company did for their workers, right? What are the interventions? And let's say there's no intervention, so you could suggest your intervention. So maybe particular company could provide ear muff, okay, to the workers. Okay, this is the example of the ear muff. Tunjuklah gambar ear muff, jangan cakap saja. Okay, tunjuk gambar ear muff. Maybe you would like to suggest specific ear muff, ataupun dipanggil apa, yang sumbat telinga tu, right? So ear plug, yes. Thank you very much. Ear plug, okay, specific ear plug. This type of specific ear plug, okay, with maybe a detailed description of the ear plug, right? So this is where your marks will differ in terms of that. Okay, if you just suggest, okay, for this particular problem, we suggest the company to use earplugs. That's all. Gambar earplug tak ada, jenis earplug tak ada, right? And then there's lots of earplugs in the market. Which one pun tak ada. So maybe the marks will differ with those who put in a bit more detail, of earplugs and whatnot, right? Because I want to train you guys so that when you do all these reportings, it is not a general report. It is something when we are talking about report, it is something that is very, very specific on that particular subject. Okay, Azam?
Thank you, sir.
Right. Any others? I hope you do understand on this. Okay. Don't worry. Every lab session, I will basically the lab session is the same. Right? It's the same. Okay, for every lab session, okay, the procedure, everything is the same. The difference is only the type of material. That's all. The type of material is different. But what you need to do, okay, in terms of the case study, in terms of the procedure, in terms of the steps, you need to include in the report, in terms of the numbers of reference, everything is the same, except that every week we will change different equipment. All right. Okay. Anything else? So if we don't have anything else, okay. Yes, Farid. Anything?
Nothing, sir.
Okay, right. So I think if you don't have anything else, I would like to thank all of you for your time and also your attention throughout this 2-week lecture session during Ramadan in the late afternoon. Right. So hopefully we'll see you again this Thursday, inshallah. All right. So before we wrap up, okay, I would like to wish you also selamat berbuka puasa. Right. So the first day of Ramadan. Okay, hopefully everything that we do today is being accepted by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, inshallah. Right. So let's wrap up this session by just reciting Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As. Okay, thank you very much again, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe and see you again, inshallah, this Thursday. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a nice evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir. Selamat
you,
berbuka.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Selamat berbuka.
Okay, selamat berbuka.
Assalamualaikum.
Jangan makan banyak sangat.